So listen, if any of you guys are thinking about doing your own podcast, man, I highly recommend you use Anchor. Anchor.fm. It's free. You know what I mean? It's got all the tools and stuff you need to make your stuff sound spiffy. You know what I mean? It's seamless. It's user friendly. You can record it from your phone. You record it from your computer. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to be on Spotify or Apple Podcast or anything like that, it'll do it for you. You know, you can make some money, you know what I mean, doing a sponsorship ad and just like something like this. And it's also free. So if you're interested in it, man, you can download the free Anchor app or you can go to anchor.fm. Good luck. What's up, good peoples? It's the captain speaking. We back at it again in the studio for another episode 8, military. So for those who don't know, I did 4 years in the military right out of high school. You know what I'm saying? I think it was probably the best decision that I can make in my life. So let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna go in a couple of parts, couple of segments. You know what I mean? Try to spread it out so it don't kind of sound like a run-on sentence. But let's get to it. So back in like was it 1997, 1998? I think around that time I was a sophomore in high school. I started thinking like, well, what am I gonna do when I graduate? You know what I mean? At the time I was just some skinny dude, you know what I'm saying, pulling on his goatee. I had little plaits in my hair, split ends in the back, no hang time. And I saw a lot of my friends, you know what I'm saying, like really setting up for success after school. And I was just sitting there like, man, what the fuck am I going to do, bro? You know what I mean? So I think it was going into 11th grade, I was in school. I started seeing the military recruiters, you know what I mean? So, I thought they looked real sharp, in the uniforms, but I was just like, damn, can I really pull that off? Until, the gentleman from the Marines approached me and was like, you ready to be a Marine? You know what I mean? That's how they greet you. Like they don't say, hey sir, how you doing? They say, you ready to be a Marine? You know what I mean? They come straight in your face, chest up, you know what I mean? Proud of the uniform. So I was like, well, I don't know about that, bro. You know what I'm saying? So he figured, since I didn't just say no, that he had me. You know what I mean? Little did he know that he did have me. You know what I mean? So um time went by, you know what I mean? I went to a couple of like little monthly uh little meetings and stuff they have, kind of like some field day type stuff, you know what I'm saying? He used to pick me up, would take me, give me some food, give me some McDonald's and shit. McDonald's was gold, you know what I'm saying, in high school, So I mean, he was definitely winning my heart and mind, you know what I'm saying, of actually like, giving a shit about me, you know what I'm saying? So then, I don't know if this is before or after, but I was sitting in class, man. I was sitting in study hall. And it was me and a couple of folks. We just took study hall. Wayne want to take no more classes. We was like, fuck it. We got all the credits we need to graduate. Let's just take study hall. So we was sitting in there, man, and we was watching TV. And then it was like breaking news. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they showed a video of the airplanes, you know what I'm saying, flying into the World Trade Center in New York. So I'm thinking this was like a clip off Die Hard or some shit. I'm like, this shit ain't real, bro. And then the principal come over and he's like, hey, we're gonna do early dismissal, for X, Y, and Z. So we all jump up like, yay! And our teacher at the time, Mr. Hardy, jumps up like, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? I think he really wanted to say shut the fuck up, but I think we got the point. Rest in peace to Mr. Hardy. So with that going on, you know what I'm saying, I still was interested in the service. So my mother wasn't having it. She was just thinking, oh, you gonna go out there, something will happen to you. I'm never gonna see you again. Blah, da, 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 da. But me and my mom, we never really had like no, you know what I'm saying? We never really had that type of relationship where we actually just sit and talk, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. So I figured, I'm doing you a favor by getting out of your hair, you know what I mean? So I messed around and I signed up for the delayed entry program. It's just something that you can just kind of, it's like a promise that you'll join, but you're still in high school, you know what I mean? So I probably signed it about as early as you can sign it, probably just a little under a year. So as that time goes by, man, I'm just like, I definitely was having second thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Was I really going to do this? But I didn't have shit lined up, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. We just going to go through with it, you know what I mean? So it comes about that time. As the time goes by, you know what I mean? I'm going to my little recruit station out Rockville, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I see my man Eric Castro pop up. Shout out to Eric. And you know what I'm saying? Eric was one of my, you know what I'm saying, one of my main men from around the way. So I was like, shit, if he about to join, we about to be good money, you know what I mean? So we was like, hey, we need y'all to finesse that buddy program. So, where he go, I go, vice versa. So for that right there, that was really a breath of fresh air for me because just knowing that I'm not about to take this journey by myself, you know what I'm saying? But little did I know that shit didn't last that long. So don't quote me on the timeline. Don't quote me on, listen, all of this shit is just coming straight off the dome. I took a few notes in the phone. But anyway, so it was getting to be about that time for graduation / ship out time. Because we supposed to ship out like 8 days after we graduated. This goofy nigga here go out and somehow, some way got caught with some weed or some shit like that. See, he went and did something to the fact that he had to come in after me. So, you know what I'm saying? My recruiter hit me. He don't really give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He hit me and he like, yeah, your buddy program's done. You're going by yourself. Your buddy got caught with some weed or some shit. So I'm just like, oh, no, dog. So now I'm really on the fence. Like, am I really going to do this shit now? You know what I'm saying? Now I'm just like scared. I'm nervous. I got a lot of shit going through my mind, like that I felt as though Eric could have made easier for me, you know what I'm saying? Because, his job, well, he was infantry, and my job was supposed to have been a lad gunner, low altitude air defense gunner. But that shit got changed. We'll talk about that. So, me being me being in high school and all that other shit. So I was smoking too, you know what I'm saying? I was chiefing a little bit. And I told my recruiter, I think it was maybe 2 weeks before. And excuse me. I told him, I said, look, man, I just smoked, so what's up? So he got this look on his face like, what the fuck you mean? You know what I mean? So this motherfucker made me run like every day until I shipped out, you know what I'm saying? Just to get it out of my system, you know what I mean? So now it comes to ship out day. So this is the point where, you know what I'm saying? Well, they don't tell you, but you really got until like before you even fly out to say that you don't want to do this shit and they had to let you go. But they make it seem like once it's that day, it's no turning back type deal. Because, they don't want to lose you. So we pull up to the house, you know what I'm saying? And, he's like, time to go. So I got my mom's there. I got her boyfriend there. You know what I'm saying? I got my sister at the joint, my young sister. And I'm kind of like tearing up because I don't really know, you know what I'm saying, what my fate is. I don't know if I'm going to go out here and fucking die. I don't know if I'm going to go out here and, you know what I'm saying, never be able to come home. Like, I don't know shit. So I'm kind of tearing up. And let's just put a disclaimer out there right now. At this time of my life, when I was in my mid, getting ready to graduate, you know what I'm saying, not knowing what I'm doing, I cried a lot. I was a crier. I cried all the fucking time at boot camp. I don't give a shit. So, you know what I'm saying, teared up, gave my mom a good, big hug. That's probably the biggest hug that I probably have ever gotten that I can remember outside of me being a baby. So it meant a lot to me, you know what I mean? So then from there, you know what I'm saying, you ship out to MEPS in Baltimore, and then, you get all your paper together, they fly you out. So next is like, they got this thing where, once you get off the plane at Parris Island, South Carolina, that's where the boot camp is. When you get off the plane, the DIs, the drill instructors, they waiting for your ass. So soon as we get off the plane, I'm talking about I ain't even smelt the South Carolina air. And I got 2 or 3 grown ass men like in my face, in my ear, yelling at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, get over here to these phones. So what they do is they have you go over to these payphones. They already got set up, and they want you to call anybody that knows you, a family member, a friend, you know what I'm saying, old squeeze, whatever. They want you to call somebody to let them know that you made it there safe. So of course my goofy ass was the only one where nobody answered the phone, dog. So now I'm tearing up because my mom's not answering the phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? My main man not answering my phone. So I gotta call just a group of niggas that I was hanging with. And of course, they answer the phone, and it's like 10 niggas in the background. I think they might have been having band practice. I'm crying, telling them, hey, I made it safe. They was like, dog, we about to come get you, dog. Fuck all that. We about to come get you. I had to hang the phone up. So, of course, you know what I'm saying? I was getting chewed out some more because of what they said. I was getting chewed out because I was the last person. I was getting yelled at for like 3-4 days straight. You know what I mean? So that shit was traumatizing off break. And I'm like, damn, like, is there a way for me to get out of there? So was it too late? All right, so now we can skip about a week or two, right? So now I've been in boot camp for like, let's say I've been in there for a week. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I done got all my shots. You know what I'm saying? I got all my all my uniforms, all the shit I'm going to need. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be there for was it 3 months? So we get assigned to our units. And we like, all right, well, they about to feed us, you know what I'm saying? So what they do is when you first get there, they don't let you sleep for like 48 hours, 72 hours, some shit like that. Excuse me. Beers got me burping. So I just like to do that shit on purpose. Everything is psychological, dog. It's like the quicker they can break you mentally, the quicker that they can teach you what you need to be taught. But if you want to be in there and be hard headed, you know what I mean, you really just make it hard on everybody else because they'll just smoke us and let you stand there. You know what I mean? So we get the boot camp, man. So we going to the chow hall. That's the the lunch, the cafe, whatever you call your work. Where you at work and you go get something to eat. Or so we get in the joint. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, the food looking all right. They had like some little meatloaf gravy type deal. You know what I'm saying? Look like some Murray Steakhouse shit. And I'm like, man, I'm about to eat. You know what I'm saying? So I sit down and everybody they said they's like don't nobody touch their food until everybody sit down. Of course, they said it very violently. So I'm sitting there, you know what I'm saying? As we sitting down, everybody getting yelled at, you know what I'm saying? The yell tornado was going around. And this motherfucker is like, you got 30 seconds to eat. So we look up like, what? That motherfucker said, you got 29, 28, 27, 17, 15, 13, 5, 3, 2, 1, get up. Bruh, all I got to do was smell the food, dog, and we made us get up. We didn't eat nothing until the next day. So we finally get back to the our little squad bay. That's where it was like 50 or 60 of us laying in there joining bunk beds. Man, I'm in the bed crying. I'm like, bruh, like, I know I'm skinny, but I'm missing meals like that. You know what I'm saying? So then we wake up in the morning. So what they do is they do this thing called Fire Watch, where at one point in the night, every hour on the hour, there's always somebody awake, which is really just teaching you if you're in a war, if you're in a combat situation, somebody's got to be up at all times. You just down to minimum staff. So once I think it's like 5 a.m. or something. Once 5 a.m. hit and they wake you up, the guy or whichever one of the recruits, we was recruits, he will put the light on and say, reveille, reveille, reveille. And the drill instructor tornado come through. You getting yelled and screamed at. You listen. You ain't been up 10 seconds. You getting yelled at. You know what I'm saying? So this is why I get back to the psychological part. Like you're being mentally broken, so that when they want some shit done, it's getting done. It ain't no hassle, ain't no back talk, and it's going to be 100% effort. You know what I'm saying? So, we getting up, you know what I'm saying? You got to get up and then you got to take a shower. The first couple of days in the shower, all you do is you line up in the assembly line, everybody fucking naked, no homo. You go in the bathroom, it's probably maybe 4 showers. Them motherfuckers got hand soap in their hand. They give your ass one squirt. And you walk in the shower and you walk the same speed as you walked in there in the shower. And you take that soap and I mean, for me, I'm probably just clean my nuts and my damn armpits. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna get out. So we did that for probably like a week, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bruh, we can't even shower, dog, you know what I'm saying? So here I am thinking, like, is there a way I can get out of this? So my entire experience in boot camp, man, they let you write letters. So for me, man, you know what I'm saying, me being a social bug I am, man, I'm writing 5 or 6, 7 letters every Sunday. Sunday was the day you write your letters, you know what I'm saying? Sunday was the day where it's kind of like they was required to kind of let up off you a little bit. So, I'm writing my letters. First of all, I'm writing my recruiter to ask him what the fuck he done got me into. You know what I'm saying? And he never responded. He wrote me one letter, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even a letter. Like, it was off some bullshit Marine Corps, like, comic joint, trying to be funny, you know what I'm saying? So my recruiter was an asshole, you know what I'm saying? He was small, skinny white guy. He had a bunch of meaningless fucking tattoos. And he used to dip tobacco all the time. I knew he was creepy a little bit because all his recruits was females outside of me and Eric, you know what I'm saying? So I figured something was up with him, you know what I'm saying? But lo and behold, he got kicked out for sleeping with one of them. Good job, creep. But so Sunday, you got your day, you clean your shit up, you can get your uniforms and all that prep for the week, your PT gear, your PT every day, and you can go to church. So everybody was going to church, you know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't believing whatever, you went. You really just went to get out the barracks because you be in church, you can chill. So everybody went to the Protestant church because it was the biggest one. And that's when you can see the females. You can try to attempt to set something up. Trust me, you wasn't cracking nothing in boot camp. But the conversation was good, you know what I'm saying? So I think I maybe got a letter from my mom's. I had got a letter from a couple of, joints I was talking to or joints I was talking to when I was in boot camp, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, at that time, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was still in high school and, I was in the service. It was, you kind of had like I think a 1 or 2 year rule. You still could be talking to a high school joint as an 18-year-old. But I just think that the shit just kind of became a little bit too much as far as what I was going through and her just living her life. So safe to say that shit didn't work out, you know what I mean? So some time went by, man. You know what I'm saying? Went to the rifle range, learned how to shoot a gun for the first time, learned some little basic martial arts shit, like some Steven Seagal shit. We just slapping niggas. You know what I'm saying? Learn some of that. Learn how to live outside for, 2-3 days at a time with limited food. And I graduated. You know what I'm saying? So I graduated from boot camp. And at this point, I was in a different unit because I got hurt in the rifle range. You know what I mean? They had me in this like low kneeling position and it was too much on my knee. So, they ended up dropping me for about 3 weeks, got my shit back together, went back in. So, we did all this. I'm in a new unit. They kind of soft. So I fit right in, you know what I'm saying? It was easy peasy for me. So I graduate, you know what I'm saying? And what they do is, you know what I'm saying, every unit, the senior drill instructor will say platoon 1, 2, 3, 4, you know what I'm saying, dismissed. So my platoon number was 3086. You know what I'm saying? And this fucking loser, he goes, platoon 3085. So we all look at him and his face cringed because he knew he fucked up. And he was like, dismissed. So we just all walked past him like, wow, dude, fucking wow. So he was getting chewed out by, all the brass and all that, all the officers around him. Like, how do you fuck that up? You know what I'm saying? So first people I see my mom, I see my uncle, you know what I'm saying? I see a big aunt considered to be my stepfather, you know what I'm saying? And I see my two main men. I see Carlos and I see Barry. You know what I mean? So they rolled down the joint, you know what I'm saying, checking me out. That shit really meant a lot to me, man. I appreciate y'all for that. So now I'm home. You know what I mean? After boot camp, you only get to come home for like 10 days. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to go back out for more training. So, I come home. I got the high tight. I'm in my uniform. I'm out here joint looking all right. One of the first things I wanted to do was I wanted to go and see my father. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't seen my father, maybe probably like 10 years or so, maybe 11 years before that. So the first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to pull up on him in a uniform to show that, I did this without you. You know what I mean? I kind of wanted to be petty for a moment. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't as go hard about it. You know what I'm saying? But it still felt good to kind of silently throw it in his face. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, 10 days. 10 days is like a fucking weekend when you've been in boot camp for 3.5, 4 months. So, I try to, pull up on as many people as I could. You know what I'm saying? Moms let me borrow the car, no driver's license. I'm out here. And I blink my eye, man. It's time to go again. So now they're giving you a little bit more responsibility. So now I gotta take a cab, or I gotta get a ride to the airport myself. Well, no, I was taking a bus. I gotta go, get on a bus to go to North Carolina for more outdoor survival training, shit like that. So of course, I'm packing my shit. I'm tearing up again because I'm like, look, I don't really want to do this shit no more. I knew from after boot camp I wasn't built for this shit. And I knew that once I got hip to the game, what was going on, I was going to be whatever the fuck I wanted to do, whatever the fuck I wanted to do. They weren't going to be able to tell me shit. I had already known, but I was like, well, I got to play the game until, until I figure out the buttons, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So went down to North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? That was like a 3-week training. That shit fucking sucked. You know what I mean? So once you do the MCT, Marine Corps training, that's when you do the obstacle courses and shit. And you know what I'm saying? You clean weapons in the mud and you sleep in the mud, and just really continuing on how to be outside, how to be in the field is what we call it. And then from there, I went to Texas. I went to Fort Bliss, Texas, which is really fucking nice base. I went to Fort Bliss, Texas for my job school. So Texas was different, man. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no fucking plants. You know what I mean? The weather was just either hot or cold. It wasn't a lot of black people. So, I'm just like, I'm just trying to blend in, man. And so long story short, for this job, it's pretty much a LAD gunner, low altitude air defense gunner. So that's pretty much a Humvee with a missile on the top, and it shoots down like helicopters and shit. But the job, like what little did I know, over time the job got phased out because, who the fuck we fighting? They got helicopters. You know what I'm saying? At this time we was in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? Pushing, Afghanistan later. They didn't have no helicopters in Iraq. So, the job will become obsolete later. But I didn't stay there anyway because I didn't have no fucking driver's license, and I was gonna have to be able to drive. So, I went home for Christmas, and they was like, look, if you don't come back with a fucking driver's license, you're done. So my goofy ass come back home, failed a driver's license twice, parallel parking, some bullshit. And I came back, man, and they sent me to Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And that's where I became a field artillery cannon crewman. So I'm just going to throw it out there right now. That's probably one of the worst fucking jobs you can do. It's horrible on your back. It's horrible on your ears. It's horrible mentally. So I get to Fort Sill. I go from being in Texas, living in like a college dorm, you know what I'm saying? College dorm, getting food delivery, you know what I mean? Sneaking women in the joint, you know what I'm saying? Ended up getting jammed up for that. 30 days restriction, half pay. It's all right. And now I'm in a squad bay again. So I'm in a squad bay again. I'm in Fort Sill. Excuse me. And this shit fucking sucked. But the school was only 3 weeks though. The joint in Texas was supposed to be like 6 months or something. But that's cool because I could have took time off of my 4 years. So I would have preferred to have just stayed there. But I would have been ended up being switched to infantry because that's what they all did once they phased the job out. So fast forward, you know what I'm saying? I graduated from Fort Sill, you know what I'm saying? Was in there dumb as shit, didn't know what was going on. And now, you know what I'm saying? I get to pick my duty station. I can either go to North Carolina, I can go to Camp Pendleton, California, or I can go to Okinawa, Japan. My stupid ass picked North Carolina. I'm like, bro, I'm such a fucking homebody, man. So I get in North Carolina. I'm like, well, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? I get to my unit and I see things were a little bit more relaxed. But now it's like I'm not dealing with drill instructors. I'm dealing with, lance corporals, and sergeants. So I'm dealing with people that about the same age as me. They think they're hot shit. So of course, you know what I'm saying, whenever something needed to be done, whenever something needed to be cleaned, whenever, just whenever some bullshit work needed to be done, the new jacks, what they call you a boot. If you knew, you're a boot. So the fucking boots always on the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is you're a boot until new Marines come to the unit. In which that case, the guys that have been there for a while, the salt dogs or the OGs, you know what I'm saying, they either re-enlist and go somewhere else or they get out. So just imagine, you know what I'm saying, you a boot for like a year, you know what I'm saying, just because. So that shit fucking sucked as well. But then as this was going on, you know what I'm saying, we was preparing to go to Iraq. All right, so let's pause for a second. I just want to make sure y'all are following. So I've already discussed, you know what I'm saying, the beginning, high school, you know what I'm saying, was I going to do this shit or not? You know what I'm saying? I talked about, leaving for boot camp. I talked about, how boot camp was, which was the worst part of the whole 4-year experience. Let me add that if you didn't figure that out. I talked about coming home and then having to leave right back out. You know what I'm saying? Talked about the outdoor training. Talked about the job schools. So now I'm in the fleet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in my unit. All right. So we caught up. Okay, let's keep it moving. Hey, y'all know my recruiter sat there and told my mother the boldest face fucking lie ever. Even I knew he was lying when he said it. He told my mother I would never see combat. He said, your son will never see combat. And here I am, been at my duty station for 2-3 months, and we already doing workups to go to Iraq. Operation Iraqi Freedom 2. So we prep to do that. We do the training. We doing getting tased. We getting sprayed with mace. You know what I'm saying? We shooting fucking shotguns with bean bags in it. You know what I'm saying? We doing all that shit. So I'm like, I was kind of hyped up for it. You know what I'm saying? I was only hyped up for it because I heard that you can make a lot of money when you go overseas. You know what I mean? So if y'all don't know, in the military, we don't make no damn money. From fucking, I would say this, from E1 private to maybe a sergeant E5. After E5, you might be making some little cheese. That's because at that point, you didn't realistic. They didn't get you a little bonus. But besides that, you talking maybe a $400 check to maybe like a $550, maybe $600 check. This is back in this is from 2003, 2007. I don't know what the fuck they're making now, but they wasn't paying no money. So, you know what I'm saying? So when it was time to go, they let us go home, you know what I mean? See our families and all that, you know what I'm saying? We came back and it was time to handle business. So we fly over to, we took the worst fucking flight ever. So we went to California for training, you know what I'm saying? So we flew from California to Maine. Keep following this. We flew from Maine to Alaska. I could have sworn we could have just went there from Cali. Then we flew from, first of all, we was in Alaska. The fucking plane was frozen, and they couldn't even get the shit started. So we was a little scared about that. So then we flew from Alaska to Germany. So at this time, when we going from Alaska to Germany, we on like the biggest plane you can be on. We on the joint with the upstairs. So this was like a 26-hour flight. You know what I'm saying? So we flew there to Germany. You know what I'm saying? We ate good. I probably had like 6 or 7 meals. Sat in first class, was chilling. You know what I'm saying? Got to Germany. They just let us get off the plane, stretch our legs. Germany smelled wild as shit. Get back on the plane, and we fly to Kuwait. I don't know how much time it is. I think it was 26 or 27 hours total. So we get to Kuwait. And they was warning us. They was like, look, y'all, it's hot. So just be prepared. Man, they opened their fucking front door. Like, granted, we all the way in the back. They opened the front door. You would have thought it was like 10 blow dryers just in your face. Like, people's eyes was burning, couldn't see shit. Like, it was so hot. So we get off the plane and we get on the little bus. Now, granted, the bus is probably like maybe 30 feet from the plane. We get on the bus and we carried our stuff from from A to B, and everybody got on the bus and passed out because it was so hot we wasn't ready. You know what I mean? So we finally get to the green zone. It's the army base that's right outside of Iraq. That this where you go in and out to get in country. And it's probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and my eyes are still burning. I can't see shit. It's still hot as hell. I still feel like them blow dries in my face. You know what I'm saying? So Kuwait, to me, Kuwait is like the hottest place in the world. You know what I mean? So hot that, you have to wear long sleeves. You know what I'm saying? Gloves if you got them. You got to wear sunglasses, and you got to have on like a Kango or something. You know what I'm saying? To cover your ears. Because especially for my white folks, all your shit be burnt. You know what I mean? So you had to have all that shit on. But the food was good though. You know what I'm saying? Them army folks y'all be eating real good. So we was eating good. Probably the best food we'd ever had. You know what I'm saying? So we stayed there for maybe a week or so just to get everything together for us to adapt, you know what I'm saying, to the temps. And we drove in, man. You know what I'm saying? We drove in the country. We drove probably a 24-hour straight into Iraq to get to where we were supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So everything was all smooth. I mean, we was taking turns sleeping and all that other shit. But then, we had an incident where there was like some really large nails put in the road, and one of our Humvees had got hit. So we like, shit, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even been driving 8 hours, and we already about to get in some mess. So now I ain't gonna lie, I'm low key, high key scared. So they like, hey, everybody dismount. You know what I mean? So usually we dismount the truck, we push out a couple of meters in every direction. And you know what I'm saying? We just, you got your guns, ready to go. You see anything you don't know. I mean, we shooting it. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking, man. I'm sweating. You know what I'm saying? I'm nervous. And I feel like I see somebody. But, by that time, we end up getting up. So long story short, man, they found an IED, which is like a improvised explosive device. So they found like an old 155 millimeter round in the ground. It's like a daisy chain. That means there's multiple joints all tied together that they use that to try to kill multiple people. You know what I'm saying? Try to take out multiple vehicles. So, we were supposed to wait for the explosive guys to come. My CO was like, fuck this. He's like, look, do we got any straps? Strap the fucking Humvee to the 7-ton and pull that shit out of there. So we dragged the Humvee probably like 2 hours up the road just so we can get out, because I really think that there would have been some casualties if we would have sat there. You know what I mean? So fast forward, man. I mean, I was in Iraq from, I want to say June. I was in Iraq from June 2004, and we left country and came home in February 2005. So it was in country for just about 6-7 months. You know what I mean? In between there, we drove out of there and everything, man. So we had one incident, man, one traumatizing incident that I think was, I think that kind of opened the gate for the PTSD for me. I do have PTSD for those who don't know. We had our guns set up, we had our cannons set. We was really just shooting a lot of illumination missions for the grunts. Crazy thing is, I ran into this nigga Eric Castro out there in Iraq. You know what I'm saying? I seen this. He was in the goddamn internet cafe, and I'm like, "The fuck you doing in here?" So we in there chopping it up. He was giving me extra time. You know what I'm saying? This was back when you get on the Yahoo and you would do the video chat. You know what I mean? This was groundbreaking shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I come in there about 3, 4 in the morning. That'd be about daytime, evening here. Make my calls. He always look out for me. But, you know what I'm saying? We was all set up and we was sitting in the tent. You know what I'm saying? So I think we was watching a movie or something. At this time, we had found a TV. We had a PlayStation mailed over, all that shit. We had to do we had to do to stay sane. And man, we was sitting in there, and all of a sudden, this object just came through the tent, and we looked over. We was like, "What the fuck is that?" We looked over. It was what looked to be a mortar that didn't go off. So it was just like that moment of silence. Everybody like, what the fuck? And next thing you know, boosh, we hear mortars, you know what I'm saying? Like outside of the tent. So at this time, you know what I'm saying, we had been shot at, or we had been mortared. Our base was mortared a couple of times. You know what I mean? And we had folks, we pretty much had some folks come through, drop some center blocks and all that shit to so we had some cover. So at this point, man, we getting mortared directly just at us. It ain't just, usually they would try to just randomly go, but they were shooting them shits directly at us. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, let me see if I can what I'm saying, just get the fuck out of here. So we get in there, we get in the bunker. You know what I'm saying? I kind of got my head down. I'm like, bruh, like, please, it's not my time. I'm too young. I just turned 19, you know what I'm saying? And I just got promoted to private first class. So I was like, man, I just got some little money, man. I can't go out yet, you know what I mean? And once it stopped shooting, you know what I'm saying, we had got a mission to shoot HEPD, high explosive point detonate. Now it's time to blow some shit up. And what the crazy part was, man, we had been shooting the loom so long that over weeks, that the trails of the gun, which is kind of what keeps it in the ground, were dug too deep in the sand and the rocks, and we couldn't turn to the direction we was getting shot. So now we like, fuck, we got to dig it out. Now this is a huge job. This is like digging a fucking grave if you try and dig these trails out to move it. So we digging, and then it come over the comms to tell us to stand down. So at that point where I just felt like these niggas just tried to kill me, I couldn't do nothing. I just started flipping the fuck out. I just had a little anger attack, like angry. I got tears running down my face. Like I'm just like I'm trying to kill some shit. You know what I'm saying? And we can't do it because our goofy asses didn't dig the trails out days before we probably should have did it, and we couldn't get no action. So that's to me, that's like, nigga tried to kill me, and we know where they at, and we can't shoot back. You know what I mean? So that shit right there, like, it took me probably months, man, for that shit to kind of die down in my brain. So look, y'all, hey, I took that shit home with me. You know what I'm saying? I took that one traumatizing day. I took that shit home with me, man. What did I do? Drinking. Now let's be crystal clear. Like, I drank in high school. You know what I'm saying? I was a product of 211s in Old English. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like now, you know what I'm saying, I'm on liquor. I'm on whatever I can get. So my drink of choice was Seagram's gin. You know what I mean? Back then, you get a half gallon for $20. So I was like, shit, this will get me through the week. So now, oh, my GoPro fucked up. All right, we'll turn it off now. Let me cut this GoPro off, y'all. All right, sorry for the interruption. So now I come home, I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean. By this time, I done found a couple of folks, who was from up here, who was from Maryland, and I'm coming back with them, and I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm drinking, dog. I'm getting fried middle of the week. Just anything to take my mind off that shit, man. But it's like, in the military, man, when you in, they don't want to hear no PTSD shit. They're gonna be like, oh, you a pussy? So you a pussy. So I just kind of kept that shit to myself. The only thing I couldn't hold to myself was, my knee pains and shit. You know what I mean? So, time goes by, man. I'm getting off work. I'm drinking. I'm going out. I'm hitting the clubs. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to club. Yeah. I'm going to Party Zone. I'm going to fucking the Marina. All the little shit box clubs in North Carolina, and I'm getting fried. You know what I'm saying? Like, As soon as I hit 21, man, it was just all downhill for me, man. So went to Okinawa for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? It was okay. Food was good. The deployment kind of sucks for real. And now I'm to the point where I got less than a year. So I'm like, I'm ready to get out. You know what I mean? But I'm still drinking. And I'm still thinking about that day. And I'm like, bro, like, does this shit ever stop? You know what I'm saying? But of course not. So as a result, you know what I'm saying, a lot of goofy incidents. Like I was the goofy nigga, man, out of the group, dog. I was the person where, like, to this day, man, whenever they want to bring up a story, 9 times out of 10 they talking about me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's funny at the same time. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's just a chapter in my life. You know, but I end up getting out. I got out, man. I did my 4 years. You know what I mean? The first sergeant brought me in the office and he was just like, you gonna re-enlist? I was like, I mean, you gonna throw me some money? I mean, what's up? So he was like, well, I mean, I can send you to the color guard unit at the Pentagon. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, first sergeant, I live there. I'm like, what the fuck I want to do and go do another 4 years for a place that I live? I'm like, I could just go there. So he didn't want to give me no money. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, I'm out. Thank you, sir. I'm out of here. So I got out, man. And, I really thought that, getting my DD 214, my discharge papers, I thought that it would have been like, just a tearful moment of just like, I'm finally out, man. But I didn't really feel shit, man. I just packed my shit up and I came back home. I came right back home to mom's couch, you know. No plan. I didn't want to, at the time I was trying to be a police officer. I'm glad I didn't do that shit. I mean, I don't think mentally I would have been built for it. I've probably been on TV, on somebody TV doing some stupid shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got out, man, and I had no fucking plan. I had no direction. I just was drinking. You know what I'm saying? I was just figuring, I was like, well, I'm going to drink today. I figure it out, man. So, with all that being said, man, it's like the military right now in 2020, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a really, really good position because of the military. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's a lot of shit they don't tell you. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of shit you go through that you just can't nobody prepare you for it. You know what I'm saying? But yourself. So would I let my son or my daughter join the military? Sure. If they want to do that, that's fine. You can save me some money on college. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I would definitely enforce is like you got to check in with me. You know what I'm saying? You got to check in. You got to let me know what's going on. If you're having a bad day, man, call pops, man. I've been there, I've done that. I know because I didn't have that. I felt like a lot of decisions I could have made a lot of better decisions if I would have had somebody to talk to outside of the military that can relate. I didn't have that shit, so it was like I essentially was by myself. I don't care how many niggas I knew, but when it was come time to talk to somebody who wasn't wearing a uniform with me, they didn't really know what to say to help me out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what to do when I say, yeah, man, I had to lay in the mud for like 2 weeks, and they just like, oh man, I mean, maybe you just need a little drink or something. No, I don't need a fucking drink. I need some words. I need some words of encouragement to get me back. You know what I'm saying, on the saddle. You know. So in my younger days, when I first got out, I feel like it was the worst decision I ever made in my life. You know what I'm saying? I had met my wife now. I met her 3 days after I got out, and she saw me in rare form. You know what I'm saying? On some drunk shit. You know what I'm saying? Tripping out, going back and forth with another grown man. You know what I'm saying? But she stuck with me. You know what I mean? I salute her for that. But yeah, that's my biggest take, man, from the military, man. I'm pro military. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. You know what I mean? Military did a lot for me, did a lot for my family over time. Once I figured out what the fuck I was supposed to do, you know what I mean? It definitely helped me out. But if you're gonna do it, man, like do it. Just make sure you got a good support system, dog. Like that's really like that shit is so fucking important. Like it's bigger than just letters. It's bigger than care packages. It's bigger than taking a picture or putting your boot camp photo over the fireplace. It's bigger than that. It's you really have to reach out and get into the minds of these folks who have been there, done that. Whether you have deployed or not, I know folks who never deployed, and they still just as messed up as me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got PTSD. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, it was drinking. You know what I'm saying? Then it turned to overeating, and it's anxiety now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you just never know, and this shit don't go away either. You know what I mean? And this is just the mental. I mean, the physical injuries, knees jacked up. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't go away. But it's a sacrifice that I was willing to make to have a better life. So again, do I regret it? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? If my kids want to go, bye. Shit. They can go ahead and go so I can turn their room into something, turn it into office or something. You know what I mean? But that's my military episode, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just a small piece. I could have talked for probably 2 hours if I'd have just went in specifics about everything, all the events, you know what I'm saying? The issues with money and women and getting in trouble, getting NJP'd and you know what I'm saying? But I kept it simple for y'all, man. You know what I mean? So I can keep you locked in. But thank y'all for listening, man. Captain out. All right, y'all. If you made it this far, you listen to all 45, 46 minutes of this, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Episode 8, military. You know what I'm saying? Sensitive topic. But, I figure I share it with y'all just like I share everything else, man. You know what I'm saying? So stick with me, man. Subscribe, share. You know what I'm saying? Send me a message. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you're feeling it, you're not feeling it. I'm going to speak it regardless. All right? See y'all next time.